Good morning, good day. Welcome to Presence Practice. This is the daily opportunity to connect live. If you're here, you can also watch the recording. But it's an opportunity to practice presence, focus on our authentic expression, and steer ourselves in the way of connection, kindness, gratitude. I was in a conversation last night, and a friend was saying, do I really need to be putting so much energy into digging at my wounds and trying to heal myself? Can I just be kind? And I was like, yeah, totally. Absolutely. Yeah. I think you can just go through the world and spread love and kindness and seek gratitude. That's the recipe we're talking about here every day. Now, until that's not enough. If you are at a point where I kind of hit 6-7 weeks ago, where there is something I need to work on, something that is impeding my ability to be fully in flow and expressing my authentic self in alignment in the most powerful expression of that connection, kindness, gratitude, authenticity, and presence. Is there something impeding that? Well, then you can deal with it and just kind of have that be a part of the experience if it's not too bad. Or it might get to a point where like, yeah, I got to dig this out. I got to fix the foundation. I got to heal whatever is not well. And so that's where I'm at. So I'm doing all of the above: kindness, presence, connection, and putting a whole lot of energy into trying to work on the inner healing with faith that it will be worth it. That was a big conversation I've been in last night and this morning. Recognizing that sometimes this journey is not as, it's discouraging at times. I was discouraged last night. I was discouraged the night before. Is that right? No, 2 nights ago. And yeah, and that's okay. You know, I was just listening to the Huberman podcast, and he's talking about how to make change in your life, to release the chemical process of making change and learning, and for it to sink, there has to be 2 parts of it. One is the chemicals that are released in the moment, and you have to be focused, and it's a stressful experience. You cannot really truly learn without going through discomfort. And then you have to have good deep sleep to anchor those lessons. So I actually felt encouraged by that. I was like, okay, well, I've had some discomfort lately. Good. Maybe that is the route to real lasting change and really operating with the neuroplasticity of making new patterns. You have to have the discomfort. That's what Huberman was saying, and everybody I talk to who's smart says Huberman knows what he's talking about. Al says, a friend once told me that with some problems, if you ignore them, they sometimes die of neglect, and others need more attention. I like that. It's so true. You know, okay, so I had therapy yesterday, and I had this experience where we were talking about something, some idea, and I had some discomfort around it, and then she had me go describe what I was feeling in my body. I was like, I feel some tightness in my head, but actually my body feels warm and comfortable and safe and nice. She goes, okay, well, let's focus on that body. Let's just try to really feel into the good sensations and just really just kind of focus on that. And so I did that for a minute or two. And then she asked me to kind of now tune into how your head's feeling. I'm like, don't feel really anything in my head now. And then I realized I don't know what we were talking about. I don't remember what I was upset about or what was irking me or what. And I was like, and it happened twice during my session. Parts of that is because I think I have legitimate memory damage. But if you ever woken up in the morning and you can't remember why you were upset yesterday and you're trying to remember, what was so stressful? What are the things I'm supposed to stress about today? Maybe you're allowed to let it go maybe if you can't remember, it ain't worth remembering. Gerbot is saying that your reality is created by what you focus on. Ain't that the truth? And not only that, your reality is limited by your experiences. And so what you have experienced in your life determines what you believe to be possible and real. And your brain starts to become, it goes from limitless possibilities, practically limitless, and then the more grooves are made in there, the possibilities start limited. And so, if you are raised in a, Mormon household, the world starts to, your reality is one where Mormonism is truth. And things outside of Mormonism are impossible or crazy. Now, there are ways that you can break out of those things, those patterns and those grooves. But it's really good to remember that as you are interacting with people and you have different worldviews or you think that they're crazy, you really are limited by your thoughts and your reality and your experiences. So as open-minded as we think we are still confined by the biology of our minds. That's helpful, I think, in getting to a place of unknowing and surrender. One of the first things that I teach in my coaching program is about cognitive bias and trying to learn how many ways your brain is limited so that you can start to lose confidence in your own brain. Now, that seems like maybe a counterintuitive way to start learning, but it's not. You cannot learn new things while a part of your brain believes that they are impossible or untrue. You simply cannot accept them. I am grateful for some things I've got on my agenda today. I'm going to meet up with my friend Paul again, who I talked about going to the ocean with. He suggested let's get in the water. So we're going to go back today and jump in the ocean again today. So I'm excited about that. It's going to be cold. It's going to be great. Actually, I'm like cold right now, so maybe I'll go running before I go in the ocean. But I'm looking forward to all the uncertainty and new experiences of jumping in the water in a new place. I've got a coaching call with a client this afternoon that I have not talked to for a while, and I'm looking forward very much to connecting. Grateful for the opportunity to have that relationship with people. I am grateful for a number of aspects of growth clarity that came this morning. One that I wrote about on Medium and on Facebook about, am I going to go to Burning Man this year? And to me, it felt like a vulnerable share. One of the reasons why it felt like a vulnerable share, I acknowledged that if I go without pink hair, will I be able to forego the strokes and affirmation I get when I get like recognized as like a micro celebrity there? And that feels like a fucking arrogant thing to say. So saying that out loud really, that feels like I'm inviting someone to be like, who the fuck do you think you are? And part of my journey right now is noticing when I am afraid of that voice, I'm afraid of that criticism. I'm working on trying to be aware of external criticism or fear of external criticism and then real internal criticism. And one of the things that I really got a beautiful reflection today from Ladybug is I was talking about how much power my inner critic has. Like, I think I do pretty good of being proud of myself. And then the inner critic like jumps in, takes the mic and goes, you didn't do this. You didn't do this. Oh yeah, you've been sober for 52 days, but you ate a full bag of chips 2 days ago. You are not living consciously, And I go, oh. And Ladybug says, you can pick up another microphone, you can talk back to the critic voice. I was like, right. Which I really expressed that when I went to Ecstatic Dance, and I was leaving after, and there was a voice to be like, oh, you left early, you're weak, you could have spent another hour there and practiced, but you gave up easily. And I was like, wait a minute, I fucking did awesome. I fucking made it here. I did my best. No way. So I did that again this morning, where I was like, there's a voice in me that's been saying, you're going so slow. You're not figuring, you're not doing this. And I was like, I'm kicking ass. So I'm working on noticing when my inner critic has taken the mic, making separation between that voice and all of me, doing a little parts work there. And then what Ladybug has steered me in the direction of analyzing what is that inner critic, what does it want, what is it at its heart, what is it trying to help you with, and maybe I can try to steer that voice in a direction that is more beneficial to me than how it is misguiding me right now. And its attempt to help me, it is, hurting me, paralyzing me, putting me into downward spirals. But what if that same voice can be protecting me or encouraging me in different ways? These presence practice love mornings have started to get longer and longer, partially because it's a part of my healing journey. This safe space that you join me in, it allows me to practice and articulate. Some days discouragement, some days encouragement. And as I started this broadcast talking about, the discouragement and frustration is required for lasting change and growth and learning, according to the Huberman podcast I was just listening to. So I need to, that's actually been super helpful for me the last few days of Huberman podcasts and trying to understand the biology behind things, the biology of dopamine. So understanding why I start eating and keep eating can totally be explained by dopamine. Not to get too into it or mistake or butcher the science, but foods, anything can give you a little, it's not a hit, but it stimulates dopamine. But after every rise in dopamine, you get a drop. That's just how it works. And when you eat or do certain things, the drop, it gives you get pleasure and then you get pain. But the pain is not, you don't recognize it as pain. You recognize it as, I want more of that. I don't want that. I don't want that to end, or I want to return to that. And so you keep eating. Or this morning I had half a cup of coffee. Well, I had a full cup of half decaf, although I have a feeling I might be brewing it a little strong. Or maybe it's just a half calf is pretty strong for me after not having caffeine for 7 weeks. But after I had the cup, I'm like, I want another cup. And I was able to go, wait. Maybe rather than trying to get another thing, you can recognize what is happening right now. That's the pain of the dopamine, post-dopamine experience. So noticing that's what's happening is a way to give me some control or power over the feeling of being not conscious and out of control in the situation. So who knows? So that dopamine thing has been helpful. What other thing was I listening to with Huberman that was so helpful? Anyway, a combination of spiritual growth and science background stuff about the way the brain and body is functioning is all helping me right now. I am early on in understanding my inner critic and recognizing the difference between of pulling the inner critic's voice separate so that I can speak to it so that I can offer an alternate voice than I suck. You're never going to do this. You always fucking, whatever. You should be better at this. And then, and so the advice that I got from Ladybug was, in addition to speaking back to it, you don't have to yell it down, which is kind of the stage I'm at now. You can also try to promote that voice, like the parts work idea that I'm not you should speak to a therapist and get help with this stuff. But there are these parts of you, these voices, I call it a council of voices. I understand in parts work, it has different vocabulary, but the voices that came from, or yelling at you or encouraging you in different places, sometimes a voice that's been detrimental, knowing that it's trying to help you, you can give it a promotion and say, hey, I actually don't need to be protected from cool kids making fun of me anymore. I'm an old man. I know that you give me that anxiety rush when I'm around, when I see cool kids, but what you could do now to protect me is you could do blah, 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 blah. I'm grateful for the way I'm feeling right now. I was so discouraged about my path, but now I've had these several things happen. Maybe I need to do a new update of degrees of progress. Like recognizing the inner critic, like going to the ocean and noticing, being aware that, okay, this is going to be awkward when I go into the surf shop and have the cool surfer kids that used to be so intimidating to me, to be the old man kook that I used to judge. As a kid, I would look at the old man wearing his running shoes with socks. That was me. Just 2 days ago, I was my archetype lame old man. That's progress. Isn't that, that's such a cool practice of like, if you ever have a toothache or a sensitive tooth or a cut on your mouth or a cut in your tongue, or you sprain a finger and you just go, holy crap, this system is so finely tuned and it works for decades and decades. It just works. I shoveled a sleeve of Oreos into my mouth and my system still knew how to fucking handle it. It's incredible. And anytime we've got something that isn't quite working is a good opportunity for some gratitude. Ooh, a little pain. Wait a minute. You mean how many fucking ligaments and organs and muscles are all intertwined doing whatever the fuck I want? And there's no injuries here? Maybe I get an injury, but rarely. How is that possible? I mean, I did a little stretching this morning, but still, look at me. Look at this. Woo-hoo! I challenge you to build something that can do this. All right. I've crossed the line into raw silliness, which might be the new name of presence practice. Although presence practice includes raw silliness, as well as disappointment and discouragement and gratitude and connection and kindness. So thank you for being a part of this Love Morning, for this presence practice and a part of Hug Nation. I think we should have a hug. Let's do that. Let's have a hug. So wherever you are, give yourself a big squeeze. And appreciate this incredible body. And appreciate these psychophysical experience we're having, the amazing ability to connect with one another, to learn from one another, be inspired by one another, to comfort one another. This rich tapestry of connections that makes this totally unknowable unraveling of this beautiful planet such a treat to experience through this consciousness. How fun that we get to do it together. Let's take a deep breath in and squeeze. And release. on behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of you, thanks for being here for this presence practice and Hug Nation. I love you. If you want to be connected with me more, johnstyn.com, JOHNSTYN, my name, johnstyn.com, has links to our daily Zoom meetings that are free. It has links to my t-shirt store. Am I wearing a t-shirt? It has links to, I'm wearing my Love More Fearless shirt. It has links to a free sticker offer. It's got links to my books. So if you want to, you can join me every day, 9 o'clock Pacific, in YouTube or Facebook for this live and be a part of this. And join me other times too, noon, 6 p.m. Maybe if you're in San Diego, first Saturdays or another time. Have a beautiful day. Oh, happy Friday. Woo, woo, woo. Let's take these incredible bodies and cut a rug. Ooh, 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 ooh. Dance party, says Bill. It might be time. Bye, everyone.